my New Year's drink. It's Sprite Zero. Don't worry. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Team Empire podcast. It's been a minute. You're here with your host Shannon, and you're here with Frank Carroll. How are you, Frank?
I'm good. What's up?
Hey, we're back. It feels like a while. We did the last episode we did was Mo's Muscles. We were just chatting about it, and there's not been much happening since then, I guess too much. So we've taken a bit of a break, but we're back for the 2024 wrap up of the whole year. It's the first time we've done this. We were planning to do a studio, but we're gonna. I mean, you live and you learn. So we've learned our lesson on that, and everything closes up around this time of year. So next year, 2025, we'll have our wrap up done by the end of November. So it's all set and ready for you guys. And it's just cool. This is a process. We're learning every time, and it's part of how it is. So thanks for your patience with this episode. I know I've been like teasing about it for a little bit, but we've got a lot to talk about today. There's heaps going on since we did our last episode. So Frank and I will chat about it all. Got all the stats, got the survey that you guys have helped us out with, all of those good things. But first, Frank, how was it? Tell me about the year. How do you feel about it? What are some key words that you think of when you think about how 2024 went? Big for you, big for Kate, but just tell us how you feel about the year.
Yeah, I think we had a really epic year on the whole for New Zealand bodybuilding. I mean, we had a good amount of athletes go, use their pro cards internationally and do really well. They'd all done a really good job of putting New Zealand on the map. I know that that's motivated more to do it this year as well. So that's really cool. Yeah, and I think it definitely tied into the motivation for people competing inside of our national shows as well. And so I think that, I felt like the quality, the culture was all lifted this year. I felt like we had a really decent year. Some of the best shows I think we've seen for a while in terms of, some of the shows with really good numbers, and then quality throughout the shows as well. They got better at running them. I thought it was just overall a really positive year and a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. And people are like vibing on bodybuilding now again. I feel like it's hitting another rhythm after COVID. It kind of like got quiet, and now it's like starting to pump back up. Lots of new things. I feel like Tyler Mannion's just been breaking news, all over and over. We love it. We're here for it. We love Tyler and everything they're all doing in IFBB and beyond. But it's cool. There's just obviously lots of updates, lots of natural shows, lots of updates of current pro shows, and so many things going on. So we'll chat about all of them. I think it's probably important to chat about not all the news, but just some of the news, and probably the biggest drop of the year, which they left us just before Christmas, little Christmas present. And on that note, obviously it's New Year's. You guys will be watching this from New Year's Day, or listening to it from New Year's Day. So happy New Year, everybody. It's the start of 2025. It's going to be a big year. But yes, like I say, Tyler Mannion dropped some news on us. Both Frank and myself have chatted about this on our Instagram stories, and just chatted about the opinions of sort of both sides. Everyone's kind of coming at it hot. The fit model division. So the ladies have another division. We've got our 7th division, which is huge. We're like passing the guys, and we're off. They were like, you can have 1 division, and we took 7. So we're happy with that. The feminist movement is doing its thing. So talk to me about it, Frank. I know what your thoughts are, myself, and probably a lot of your clients and community do too. But talk to me about it. What were your thoughts when it came out, and how do you feel now that you've sat on that sort of news for a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, when he first dropped it, I was kind of like, I guess it makes sense. It's, I guess, a no-brainer when you're looking at, I mean, people have got all sorts of, like, I guess, viewpoints of it. They've got all kinds of questions, wonderings why it has to be a female class, why it has to be that class. And I think that when you look at the numbers, it just makes sense that if there was going to be another class for any of the genders, it was going to be woman, because that's where the numbers lie. That's where there's more distance between classes as well. It's how can I phrase it? Yeah, with men, there's initially and people still talk shit about men's physique, being not bodybuilders, right? They're a bodybuilding show, but they're not bodybuilders. But like, their class is developed, and it's huge, it's doing well. This is like, it's like that, but there's still so much distance going to be between this class and bikini, let alone between that and the top classes as well. But with the men, if I circle back quickly, it's like they're all muscular classes. Yeah. And so this here is, it will be, I assume that they will probably do something similar for men's physique as well. There needs to be something that is an attainable physique. And I know there's the argument that, oh, but they're doing more natural bikini shows and stuff like that as well. But there is still a huge difference between what fit model is and what the best natural bikini athletes will be as well. So, yeah, it's also one of those things where, man, we want to keep getting more out of the sport. We keep asking for more from it, and that's got to come from somewhere. And so, yeah, from a financial perspective, it's smart as well. Again, look at where the numbers lie. It's going to be the easiest to get running, and it'll do what it needs to do. And honestly, it's going to be bodybuilders that benefit from it. So, yeah, I guess the argument also about, oh, but they can turn pro and then they get to call themselves pros against other pros as well. It's like same thing. I can take that back to men's physique when that first started too, and bodybuilders could say, "Oh, that takes away from what a pro card means to us." But if they turn pro in that division and they want to go out of that division, it's going to take them a lot of work too. Like they have to still qualify as a pro before they can climb those pro ranks and be recognized as a pro in any other class. And if they do that, they're going to deserve it. Yeah, so it's I know that people have got different viewpoints on it, but I think it's good for a multiple amount of reasons, and I think people do just need to sit on it, be a little bit more open-minded. This is evolution, man. Everything changes, everything grows. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't all love change, hey? We're like, what? This is changing? Like, no, everything's perfect. But it does, like, things do change. And like you said, the IFBB is a business at the end of the day, and Frank and I both own businesses. We understand that there are times that you just have to do what you're going to do to make it bigger and better. And it's obviously something that they've been thinking about a while. Like, it's not just a spur of the moment type of thing. I was sitting on the fence of more on the opposite side of Frank, and this is why it's great to chat about it because we both have our views. I, like you said at the end there, have chosen to sit on it. And I did say that when I come out with it, I was like, this is how I feel about it. But as anything goes, you sit on it, you change your mind, everyone's allowed to change their opinion and their views, and it will help grow the sport. So essentially, if you love the sport, like you've got to kind of back it in that sense as well. And I do love that the pro cards can't be, it's not the same as a pro card for a bikini competitor, because you can just go do wellness the next year if you wanted to. It's different. And I feel like that really keeps it in the box that it is, I guess. And like you say, it's a big jump, and it'll be a rude awakening if they wanted to go into bikini just due to the level of
it's not a stepping stone division like people think it is.
Yeah.
People will choose to do that division because that's the physique that they want to have. And man, like, don't tell me that those pictures that they're using for an example of like Ash K don't take work to get there, because it did. At one point that was a challenging class to be in, as it was. And so it is just a different category. They're making it vastly different with the posing, keeping it to like the classic style bikini posing. But yeah, it's you're gonna have people that will evolve through classes. They might do well in one and then they take some time off to get better, to then try their shot the next one. Man, whether they do that as a pro or as an amateur, like, who cares? It works for a lot of people, man. There are a lot of people that, like, bikini is really getting highlighted now for the amount that goes into these girls looking the way that they do. It's hard. It's man, I know, because I'm training people in every single class, and I know that these bikini girls are training, honestly, I feel like harder than the men most of the time. So it's not.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes first year, right? That'll be the test. It's just how it goes in the first year.
Yeah, I think it gives the people a lot of people the opportunity to compete, without having to, not necessarily, not that they're not going to push themselves hard, but just in a class that suits them better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be cool to see. Can't wait.
Because it exists, people get an opportunity to compete.
Yeah. And it'll bring numbers. I'm excited to see how many it will bring. Like, obviously New Zealand might be a bit slower, but it'd be cool to see what America does. On that note, have you had any clients wanting to change into it or asking you about it, or like, when I want to do fit model? Have you heard much of that?
I've had a few, yeah. Because and I've had other people externally just talk to me
Yeah.
about it, you know, if I thought it would be a fit for them. And yeah, it is, man. It's a viable option, especially for, some people do like find it harder to pull in, like bikini needs to pull in now. No matter how hard they try. It's like, it's a genetic thing, and it's not and again, it's not a they're not working hard enough thing. It's just yeah. So, for them it's that some of them are at a point where they're like, man, is it worth me doing this? Like, I love competing, but now they've got this option where it is like, cool, they can actually keep competing because they enjoy it and they can keep, I guess, progressing inside of that scope. But it's, yeah, otherwise you've got people sort of facing like, man, I don't actually know if I will continue to compete or not, because everyone else around me is getting so much better no matter how hard I try. And that's not because they don't believe in themselves or anything either. But I guess the other part in it is that the way they want to compete, with the more standard bikini, without the cut that they want, without the extra glam and that kind of thing as well. So I think those will be the things that those internal criterias, I think, will play more of a role in who actually decides they want to compete in that class or not.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I'm so with you on that, 100%. I'm sticking with bikini, just for anybody who wants to. I might be more fit model right now, but me and Frank are working on bikini. I want to get more of that jack look. I'm here for that, and that's just where I want to sit. But imagine my feedback this year, and they were like, "You should do fit model." I'm like, Frank, no.
Yeah. So that, and then exactly. So it's not just like, it's not an easy option like for people that want to do bikini, because they'll still do bikini.
Yeah.
They'll lock in on that, and so yeah, it's not gonna creep in on or minimize bikini at all. It's just two totally different things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, and we'll just see what everyone's here for. Like, it's just going to be cool to see what people do. And it's something we had to touch on because we both have different views, like we say, and just it's such a good discussion. It's cool. It's like, oh, there's something new in bodybuilding, and we get to chat about it. It's like just one of those cool things. Hey, so let's see how it goes. Let's see how the first year goes. I think we'll have it in New Zealand first year because it's said all NPC shows. So it'll be interesting to see how Mo does it, plays it out, has it in the shows, and if it's first, second, last, whatever it is. But we're both excited for it. Hey, Frank, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm excited for, like what I said before, the bodybuilders are the ones who will benefit from it. Like, the community will benefit from it. And so, yeah, I mean, there's not an athlete that doesn't ask for more. So it's
we
cool.
know that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to see the federation do better financially. If it helps like that too, then like we all got to play a part in that ecosystem. So
that's it.
Yeah, man, look at other federations with how many classes they have, and it's just wow. So
man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I wish they called it something different though, only because it's close to WBFF, and we know how I feel about that. But it is a fit model, like that's what they are. So that's kind of the differentiation between the divisions. But yeah, we're excited, looking forward to it, and whoever's going to jump into that division, it's going to be cool to see how you go, new bikinis, all of that stuff. All right, NZIFBB calendar. She's not out yet, guys. I know I kind of tease that usually it comes out in December. It usually does. But the guys have been busy. They left after Mo's Muscles, which obviously was a huge show in itself. And they went to Thailand, they went to Fiji. They did shows after shows. The guys didn't finish up their season until like nearly the end of November, start of December. So let's give them a bit of extra time. They've also got to add the fit model division and all that to their website, to the registrations. They've also got to add a whole bunch of other stuff. Hopefully we're getting pro shows. We don't know. So we're just going to have to wait for all of that. But give them a bit of grace on it, guys. It'll be worth the wait. So hopefully by end of Jan, we'll have that locked. Well, definitely, because I know that they want to give us as much notice as possible. So keep an eye out for that. We've got the pro calendar for international. It's come out. It's online. So our pros will be on their schedule. Frank's smiling because he's got one of them. He's married to one. So he's on they're planning out their little thing. Everyone's planning out their things. And as we do, we let the pros do their thing, and when they're ready, that announcement will come out because their names always get listed. So no pressure on our pros, but let me tell you, there are some pros competing this year that, well, hopefully this year, you never know what happens, life throws at you, whatever, but there are a few that you guys don't know that will compete, and I'm very, very, very excited for it. So it's Frank, we're pumped, and it's nice to know the little secrets and the ins and outs, but we will never share that. That will come out when it's ready. So it's just going to be a big year. Hey, Frank, are you pumped for 2025?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, we're already cooking
You
on
and
it, eh?
Kate, and you and Kate have got some plans. You don't have to tell us, but have you guys been working out your dates and stuff since the calendar come out?
Yeah, we had a look at the calendar yesterday and sort of drafted a plan out. So we got a timeline.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got a half a dozen pros competing this year. Yeah, some doing their debuts, which is going to be really exciting. Yeah, no one knows who, which is cool too. But yeah, yeah, no, it's going to be pumped. And then obviously, yeah, we're like just the other people that we are friends with in this community that are pros also that are planning it too. It's just yeah, it's rad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the year's not even finished. Like 2024 is not finished, so these pros have got a bit of time, but they're already pumped. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, I do definitely feel like what happened in 2024 is really, I don't know, what's the right word? Like, motivated in some way all the other pros because they're like, fuck, I can do that, man. Like, and it's cool. It's that competitive like community that we have, and it's just really awesome. So, the girls getting on the Olympia stage, everyone's like, fuck, if they can do it, if they can do it, if Kiwis can do it, we can do it, kind of thing. So yeah, keep that fire going, guys, and we're excited for some announcements in 2025 for your shows, pro shows, all of our shows as well. The one that's still going, Jamie Wu, congrats on all your shows, Jamie, man. She's still going, you guys. She's only just finished her last show, still smashing it all the way up until Christmas. So Jamie, good on you. She's a weapon. Sorry, I haven't covered many of her shows. It's just been that time of the year, but just really, really, what a weapon, eh, Frank? She's been still going.
Yeah. Yeah, man, she's done great. She's I chat with her a little bit and just to again just share the support and recognition for what she's been doing. Man, yeah, she's been at it. I mean, shit, we should all be proud of our athletes this year. Yeah. All of them.
All of them, yeah. And we're going to talk about them all because we've got that survey. So we're going to come back and circle back to these people that we just have to appreciate a little bit extra this year, like all of our athletes. But real quick, I'm a data nerd. We have to run through some stats. I've got my Spotify stats and our YouTube stats from the year. On Spotify, we had 20.3 thousand downloads on Spotify alone. We have 31 different countries listening to the pod. And that's fucking crazy, guys. We're New Zealand. Like, this is just a New Zealand pod, and these people, 31 countries. New Zealand, I'm not going to list them all, but just New Zealand, Aussie, UK, USA, Japan, Germany, India, Denmark, French Polynesia, Portugal, Israel, Lithuania, Indonesia, Ireland, Canada. So many. I can't list them all off. It's crazy. So that blew me away a little bit. That was what, and that's just on Spotify, not even YouTube. So YouTube's top 5 episodes. These always surprise me, and these will surprise you guys as well. The top episode was number 63, Amber Dwyer, IFBB bikini athlete. They moved to Aussie. Correct? Like, what? She was the biggest. It's not like, she's amazing, but it just shows you, like, because the second one down was Kate Carroll's podcast, 50, and that was her getting second place at the Hawaii show. That was after that, not even after Olympia. Crazy. 56 by Frank Carroll was number 3. So that was my second episode with you. Yeah, you and Kate. And that was just our chat about you, Frank. We did 2 of them. So we just chatted about you and your journey. That was the second one. And that was quite a cool one. I remember that. And it was awesome. So that was our number 3. Number 4, Jordan Earl, number 61, episode number 60. We did a truth or trash edition.
Yeah.
It was cool. So hopefully I can get Jordan on to do that. He said his game. He's like, whenever you say, we'll jump on. So good old Jordan. Love Jordan. And number 5 was Rachel Mead, 54. We were talking about bikinis and when she started her bikini business. So cool for Spotify, right? That was awesome. I was so stoked with those stats. And then YouTube, just quickly, YouTube was even bigger. 45.1 thousand views, 2.2 thousand watch hours, individual separate by separate people and account users, 379,000 subscribers just this year alone. We're now up to over 500. The most viewed videos are all Kate Carroll's USA tour series, 34.4 thousand views for those videos alone. Jesus, I didn't think they'd blow up like that, but they did. And then the top 5 viewed episodes on YouTube. Number 64, Barbara Del Piaz was number 1. Again, just like someone that just came out of nowhere. And like number 2 was 72, Lily Brinson. Was not surprised with that. Number 75 was Hale Cameron. Those were our new pros for bikini and then wellness. But number 4 was 54, Rachel Mead. Yet again, go Rach. And number 5 was 56, Frank Carroll. So Frank's got to be top 5 in both, boy. So not bad. 30 episodes we did this year alone. A whole bunch of them were with you, Frank. So Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool.
That's so rad. That's so rad. I think I'll quickly take a moment to thank you for your time and doing this as well, because like just so that they all know this is not about you. And like all of these people are getting recognized through this as well. Look at how many people are watching. All these people are trying to make it. They all need to be recognized. And this platform's doing that for them massively. So yeah, thank you for putting the time and effort in. I know so many people appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much. It's been so cool, man. What a good year. It's supposed to be awesome all round. I'm like, got to take a moment today to really appreciate it all. And I hope all of you athletes do as well. It doesn't matter if you're on the piss today, you did have a good year. Okay? So soak it up and enjoy it. I have some goals for 2025. Frank's going to probably join me on a bunch of these. He's got his own goals for the year, which are huge. But we support each other in any way we can. So the goals for the pod is going to be, I've got 6 of them. Build a studio. Even if it's at my house, build a studio. I want to record 40 episodes plus. If there's nearly one a week, but I'd go for 50 if I could, but I wanted to put 40. Let's be realistic. I want to have more than 5 international guests on, big ones, the big guys, you know. I want to harass or bribe Mo into getting on the pod. Whatever comes first. Like, if I win my regional show, can you give me some time? Because I have asked him, but he is a hard guy to get on, and he's quite a private person, to be honest. Like, he doesn't share a lot, so I think he doesn't know where I'd go on the pod with him. So I'll get there. And he does appreciate what we do, so it's all good. It's all good's love, but I'm working on it. I want to become monetized on YouTube. That's a personal one for myself. So no more supporting the pod via coffees. It'll be all done through YouTube, and I'm about 850 hours away from that. So it's actually not that far, because obviously yeah, not far. So we're nearly there. And all you have to do is watch the pod. You don't have to do shit else. So, and the last one is to find our one and only gold sponsor for the podcast. I don't want to be one of those podcasts that has ads every 5 minutes sponsoring different people. I want one good sponsor that I scratch their back, they scratch mine. So I want to work on that this year too. So cool goals. Hey, I'm pretty ready.
I like it.
Yeah, he's here for it. Good on you, Frank. And do you have anything that you're planning this year that you can share with us? Are you competing this year? What are you up to?
The plan will definitely be to compete. I don't know when yet. I'm not even bothered when. I've said it a few times now. Like, my focus is on right now, just nailing now, and it'll come together. But for me, I don't feel like there's even any point in thinking about later or when until this is what matters most right now. And I'm enjoying that. But I do have some goals. Like, obviously, for the competing thing for me, I want to turn pro. I'm not worried about the win part of the year. It's because this is the part that matters most for me getting there. I have heck, I'll just share it. Gonna open a gym this year as well. And I don't want it to be just a gym. Like, I really want it to be a hub, a gathering spot for this community here. I guess you imagine what the best gyms in America would be like, or around the world would be like, and how welcomed you would feel as an athlete or a person that is involved in bodybuilding or is passionate about bodybuilding, being welcomed and just feeling like that's your space, your spot where you can just be you and be around other people like that as well. So really excited for that. I'm wanting to do it real different. I want to have really good equipment in there, stuff that no other gym has got. Really make it unique, really make it stand out, so that you really enjoy your time being there and just leave there feeling like you've been filled up. And with that, a lot of sort of other additional things as well. We ain't gonna go small. I'm hoping to be able to do a lot of things from that space as well, again, for the community, just to keep pouring in. And so that's my big one there. It'll be separate to my current business. I'll continue coaching. I've already shared that I'm going to specialize into just bodybuilding athletes now. And so that will partner with the gym as well, wanting to be able to really offer the facility and hands-on ability to really sculpt elite athletes. And so to be able to have a place where I can tangibly do that as well is, going to be dope. But yeah, that's kind of it for me. I am pretty locked in on those things. Make sure that my daughter gets through next year for the first year of NCEA, and yeah, just other normal life things. Make sure my athletes smash it. Mm,
Yeah, love it, Frank. That's sick. Everyone's going to be pumped as like way more than we're just chatting here like normal. Like I know about this, so I'm like, oh, yeah, go. But everyone's going to be like, fuck yeah! Like if they don't know about it, they're going to be so pumped. Like what a year it's going to be. And if we do get these pro shows, whatever pro shows we might get, if we're lucky enough, who knows who could come over and go to your gym, Frank, and just like it'd be so fun to be around that.
that's the yeah. That's it's. I want it to be a hub for we've been really fortunate to make some really awesome connections globally. And man, all these people are really willing, and so all they need is is a place to come to. We want to do some really cool things. Yeah.
I love it. So
Mm.
cool, Frank. Good on you. It's going to be awesome. I think people have been wondering what you might do next, like, because everyone's doing something, right? Podcast,
Mm.
this or that. And people are like, maybe Frank's going to do something in a different area. Maybe he's too busy. It's so
Yeah,
cool that you're doing this. And I fucking love it. I think you're going to be awesome. It's going to be so good. You know that, like, everything you do is 10/10. So it's going to be so cool, Frank. I'm so pumped for you. And we'll hear more about it, obviously, as the year goes.
yeah, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
start obviously putting some feed out there once I've got things more locked in. But yeah, start putting a bit of hype and a bit of awareness, really more. So yeah, no, it should be good. I'm excited for it. I just you know me.
He's humbly excited, guy. It's all internal, but we'll get him. We'll get a tear out of him at opening day or something. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So much stuff going on this next year, guys. Like a lot can't even be said, but but it'll come out, and that's the best part of surprises. All right, let's get into the survey, man. This was cool. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and doing it. Like I know it's like a bit of admin over Christmas time, but you guys have done it, so thank you. Heaps of responses. I thought it was funny. Most of our responses were from Christchurch, which is kind of cool. Like that community down there is fucking big and
Yeah,
bad. It's big and bad.
it
Uh,
is.
and Hamilton was next, and then Auckland. So yeah, that just shows you where a lot of our bodybuilders are. Hey, Frank.
Mm, yeah.
Love it. All right. So out of the people that completed the survey, 67% of them did compete this year, and 25% competed like previously, but not this past year. And then let's jump into some of the nitty gritty. So the best, I think this shows me everything. I might just go down to, sorry, I'm just going to change my settings, guys. And that way I can see a bit more of a graph. So the favorite episode was number 66. And there was also the next one was well, actually there's a few that were sort of lined up after that, 76 and 78. So a whole bunch, which was, let me go into my episodes and I will find out for you guys, but 66 come up so many times. And there was a few like of the later episodes that were the most popular, but it was because of their it was Kate Carroll, there we go, becoming Olympia qualified episode. She's done a whole bunch, so which Kate episode could it be? So that was when she got her Olympia qualified. And then 76 and 77, I believe that was Lily and Hale. So there was a few in there that were, oh no, 76 was the wrap up for Nationals with you, Frank, and 75 was. So yeah, a lot of those ones were the popular ones. A lot of the new pro episodes are always the favorites. People want to know how they did it. But there's no secrets to be shared. So the next question was, who is your favorite guest on the podcast? And this was quite interesting too, because Frank was number one.
Hey, shock, guys.
Oh, 19% of you guys picked Frank. And they weren't all Frank's clients, I promise you that. It's a very much a mix of people who responded. So good on you, Frank. Frank got number one. Isaac Newman got second.
Yeah.
Really cool, hey. And then there was a bit of a tie for third, which was Dean and Jazz and Shay Crotty's. Shay Crotty's number 22, so her first episode with me. So real cool, a little bit different than what you might expect sometimes. Isaac's episode was cool. I loved Isaac. He was funny. He was a character, and he was awesome to have on and just have a little bit more of him come out because he's one of those shy guys. So it was great to have a little bit of a chat. And obviously you guys loved it too. So the next question after these ones, I'm going to start asking Frank some of his opinions as well. Maybe not this next question, but some of these coming up. And I might share some of my views too, just because they're just my thoughts and feels. But I think everyone fucking killed it this year. So crazy. So glad I didn't compete. Most deserving or your favorite pro card winner. So I was really interested to see who everybody said with this one. And the number one was Christelle de Klerk with 22%. So, or 23% if you want to round it up. So that was cool. Christelle, love it. That was awesome. And then we had a tied second place, Hale Cameron and Isaac Newman. So Isaac's a little favorite. I don't even know if he knows it, but he probably doesn't, to be honest, humble guy. Number 3 was Chris Tan. Number 4 was Lily. So, and then there's obviously votes for the others as well because everyone was loved this year. But what do you think about that, Frank? Pretty cool?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Christelle?
I think, yeah, obviously, I mean, I feel like from all the people that voted, most of them might have been fans of Bikini.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's not like you're picking one out of all of them. It's just, yeah, it's cool to see. Yeah, I guess it's cool to see from that you really do get to see who's following which classes. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is people's opinions or thoughts, you know, like everyone deserves their pro card. It's just like, oh, who was your favorite? Like who blew you out the water kind of thing. So it's all just with love. Well, you guys all know that anyway, but just cool to see. And yeah, there's definitely a few bikini girls in here, but there's a few like bodybuilding guys too that did the pursuit. I just love it. Some of the dudes jumped in. Okay, so which new pro are you most excited to see compete for their pro debut? And I'm actually going to ask you this, Frank. You can give me more than one name too, but we'll go through the results just first. Again, Isaac Newman. And I think because I think people really like him because he's really the underdog, kind of like a little bit of the underdog, and he kind of just come in with this physique that was like, what the actual F? Like, he's just nuts. And just like, what can he do with his pro? Like, it's just how he's got this far as well is crazy. Mostly coachless and just with help of friends and just like his journey's nuts. If you haven't listened to the episode, go listen to it. And then in second, we had 2 ties: Christelle de Klerk, Lily Brinson. So me too, I'm pumped to see them and how they go as well. Hale Cameron got 3rd, and then 4th was Chris Tan. So, and then heaps of other votes for everyone else who got their pro card too. No one was left out. Frank, what do you think about that? Are you excited to see Isaac? Give me a couple of the names of people you're like, oh yeah, like you could be ready to go.
Yeah. There's not one of them that I wouldn't be looking forward to seeing do their pro debut. It's, I guess, more of just like when they would do it, where they would do it. I mean, I like all these people, and so I want to see them do it. I want to see them run with it. I think, man, I think that, yeah, I could be really on board with seeing how, you know, for the likes of Isaac stacking up against our current New Zealand pros. Because I feel like if there is a class that gets a bit of flack, it's probably our men's physique pros. And so I think it's cool to see this talent coming through and the heat being brought up. And man, it's just gonna make the other pros work harder and be better too, right? Because he really did kind of come out of almost nowhere and lit it up. And I know that there were people talking like he could have competed with the pros, and done well. So I think there's a bit of spice in there with him. People wanting to see him just do some more damage. I guess what more can he do? All of these though, man, like we're fans of all these people. Yeah, would love to see Chris jump up again as well when he's ready. You know, different pool to jump into. And yeah, it's going to be wild to see. Man, we know the progress that he made from his earlier amateur shows to his, you know, turning pro. It's going to be wild to see him now as a pro continue to develop and how he looks when he does his pro debut. So we're really excited for that. Lily, Hale, Christelle, man, like same thing. Just the different pools that they'll jump into. Yeah, some of them will be obviously competing against each other as well at some point, I would say too. So again, a little bit of healthy spice there as well. But it's just, I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where they all go. Yeah, and then through down to our physique and wellness girls as well. And yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
They all killed it. So good. I think for me, if it was like, if you were to ask me this question, it's like if they were going to compete in the next like 3 to 6 months, like who would you want? I'd
Yeah.
definitely say Isaac would be too. He'd be up there for me. Lily, of course, she looks ready to go. Fucking peeled off. She's already hitting PBs of like madness. So fucking what? So she'd get up there. And Monica Cunningham, so our women's physique chick. I just want to see her. Be like, New Zealand does women's physique. They do it very well, guys. Like, because we do, but it's hard to get our girls, like our women's physique or bodybuilding, like any of those girls up on the pro stage. It's another level. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So Monica's, I reckon she'll and her energy. I want to have her New Zealand energy out there, like representing us. She's a boss.
Yeah.
She's a fucking boss.
I agree.
Yeah, love it. All of you guys, I cannot wait to see all of you, but just incredible. Okay, so best posing. I don't know if you're going to want to answer this, Frank, because I'll be a bit of an argument in the chat after that. But the female with the best posing, so not presentation, like hair, makeup. This is posing alone. And there was two that got tied for the woman in the survey, and that was Monica Cunningham, which we were just chatting about. Her energy brings it all, and Nicole Kuka. And I have Nicole's immaculate. Like that chick ain't slipping on the stage. She's there to win and fuck it up. So she did not skimp on her posing. She did sessions and sessions and sessions with Ree. Came to all of our posing workshops, slayed the whole thing. She looked amazing. So, yeah. Any thoughts on that, Frank? I know you're not going to be like, oh yeah, this was my favorite, but a lot of the girls got good votes. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, it looks pretty easy. Were these names selected from or brought forth?
Selected from.
Right.
From people, yeah, 1 vote each, pretty much, or 2 votes.
I see. Not surprised by Monica because her energy was dope. She was wild on stage. It was, yeah. She was rad like that. And then the rest are hard to choose from. Like you've got all these girls that I mentioned here nailed it with their posing presentation. I think I have to say something that like you've got 2 Olympians there that lit it up internationally, that got recognized by how good their posing was. So yeah, but I mean they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are just the females.
Yeah, right, that's the ladies. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Kate Carroll's in there. Kate Carroll at the Olympia. Everyone loved her anyway. It was just she was just incredible. But there was a few randoms in there, like Abigail McLean. I love her. She's stunning. Chantal was obviously in there. Georgia Peterson was obvious in there. Like there's some of these girls they work on their pose. Like they do. Maddie, TJ's posing was flawless too. Like Rachel Mead, always like all of the ladies, 10-10, but just those were the top 2 just based on the survey was Nicole Kuka and Monica Cunningham. And you can't argue those. Like, I mean, they're top, aren't they? But everyone looked phenomenal. And for the guys, best posing, we had, again, 2 back-to-back. So we had Chris Tan, nice work, and Philip. Philip always gets top posing, so it was good to see him battle with Chris Tan. Talk to me about that, Frank. Did you see good posing from the guys this year? Did you see like it was a bit like average? Like, what was the thoughts on the guys posing?
No, I thought same as with the females. Like, I feel like the standard of posing was better all around for sure. So yeah, I think both of these people mentioned here, they're great to watch. Not just in terms of their routines, but their actual just mandatories as well. No, that all looks pretty much a good reflection.
Yeah.
It's like the guys that I see on here all brought good energy as well. Like, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, pretty good posing, guys. You didn't do bad, let me tell you that. Like Casey's on there. Obviously, he took his posing to Thailand, and we all saw that. I've got it on YouTube if you haven't seen his routine. Dan Sharplin. He didn't actually. Did he compete this year? I don't think he did. Did he do TOC again? He did TOC again and won that, and he didn't do nationals. Sorry, I'm a mistake. And obviously, I love Dan. I'm a Dan fan. Isaac Newman's in there. Dom's in there. Dom, I love Dom. Jack. Richard Parnham, really good. And then someone shouted out Zach and was like just saying about, because I think they put on a stupid song for him. And he just shook his booty and just rolled with it. And he's got energy and a vibe, so he's always fun to watch. Okay, so best presentation, hair, makeup, tan, all of that from both female and then male. For female first, There was a lot of votes, but actually might have been a bit of a tie, to be honest. But some of the higher votes was Liv Hobson, big one. She was right up there. And there was also, oh wait, hold on, another one here too, Lily. And there was a lot of others mentioned. G Pet was in there a couple of times too. Yeah, G, little G, heaps of people have put G. Lily, Shan, Christelle, Nicole, Sarah Ord. There's a lot in here, guys. Becky, team athlete, a team fight athlete, yay. Monica, and I think I might have said TJ. TJ's in there, and Sylvia. So this is presentation, like how they look on, so not the prosing, but everything else. What did you think, Frank? What did you think about the presentation of maybe these ladies that have been shouted out, and then just all round?
Yeah, all of these guys are beautiful. They how do you even pick? Like, yeah, the standard across all of them was really, really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all very pretty girls, and they put their extra effort to. I like it. Like, I like to explain it to girls like it's like you get another your day where you
Yeah.
just like you get to like glam up, and it's not silly or nothing, and you can just like go out there and like be beautiful and like flaunt it, and it's not silly. It's like yeah, it's just it's cool. And so yeah, I love seeing women be able to like do that and enjoy that and get right into it and get glammed. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I think I agree with all everyone that said presentation wise. I think there was pretty much all you're spot on. Everyone looked amazing. I think the vibe that most of the votes are for is like the Chantel Liv Hobson look, the blonde curly hair with the really immaculate tan. If you haven't noticed, all of these people have got like the perfect tan. No lines, get a shiwi, ladies, do all the things. But they just had that little extra little touch on top of it that just made sure that they were just perfectly presented, I guess. And I'm sure their feedback said so as well. And there was another one, Christy. I loved Christy. She's probably my favorite for the year. I'm just going to say it because I loved her. When she came out, I just couldn't look anywhere else. And if you guys don't know who she is, she's a figure competitor from South Island. She didn't do nationals, I don't think, but oh my God, I cannot wait to see what she does next. And she's got platinum blonde hair and she did a rainbow bikini on and she was stunning. So I love and figure, I just love it. So yeah, amazing girl. And Shan Bennett, she'd be my fave for bikini. Crazy, you girls all looked amazing. Those little bits go a long way, I promise you. We're all gym girls. So we're all like, what do you mean? We're wearing runners 24/7, but it's just worth it for that day. And like Frank said, it's an extra day just to be glammed up and just be cute, why not? And then for the boys were good as well. So bit of a mixed review from the survey though. Crazy. Someone said they were actually kind of poor, but that's just their opinion, so that's fine. But there was a lot in there. There was Jared Davenport, Tyrone, David Zhao was in there a bunch, so he'd probably be the top from the pick. Also Chris Tan was in there too, and Tau Hero had a couple in there. Dom, because his head was shiny. That was Isaac. Well done. So what did you think about the boys, Frank? What did you think they turned up like on point this year?
Yeah, I think you've got the guys that have done it. They know that man, you only do a show once and have shit tan, and it pisses you off. You get your photos back. It's shit. It does not show you in your best light, and so I think like these guys that have been mentioned, they know how important it is to like get the right result for a start. You want to put all that work in and then show up with a green or patchy tan and it's not catching the light and shit. So I think that's generally like what you do see a lot of in the men's classes is like a lot of reactive tans and stuff like that. And so you can see a lot more guys look a lot more shit, I guess. And I definitely did see a good portion of that. A lot of that just does come down to learning and preparation. And that's where the girls will generally excel because they master all that stuff. From a tan perspective anyway, obviously girls have got more to make look better. Heaps of these guys don't have hair to do up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that everyone that was mentioned, looked presented well. What I was just going to say, just back to the girls quickly after talking to the judges and stuff too, was a lot of girls get really worked up when they have, I guess, little malfunctions. and those little meltdowns can kind of then come through into their presentation and affect even their physique. And so, although it's like important, glam yourself up, make yourself look good so that you feel good. Don't stress about it. Like if it's not going completely to plan, don't let it ruin your day. They're not looking that hard at the hair, at the makeup. It doesn't have to be perfect. Keep yourself in check is the priority. But yeah, because I talk to judges about it, because we've seen it a lot, I'll just mention it here. But
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, for sure. That's a good point because like it stresses you out, right? Physique is going to take a little hit too. So, and a lot of the people that go pro, like women, do their own hair and makeup, and they're not even makeup artists. So, get yourself a lesson, have that as a backup because if your appointments don't line up, then you've got something to land on. But it's just one of those extra things, isn't it, that the ladies have to deal with. But you can do these things yourself, even to save money. You can do it yourself.
Save a lot of money, a lot of
stress,
anxiety.
Yeah, it's a good thing to try and do if you can. It's something that Kate does as well. If you don't know, Kate does her own stuff and beautiful job of it, so it can be done. And yeah, with the guys, I feel like women talk about this stuff a lot. Women are like, let's talk about makeup, let's talk about sheet, we'll talk about anything, but males aren't going to be like, hey bro, so how do you keep your tan shiny? Like it's just not as much of a general topic or whatever, so it's just kind of good to know. And guys, if you don't know, just to honestly ask your coach. Don't feel shy about it. Just be like, hey bro, how do I prep for a tan? And they'll all know, exfoliate the day before, whatever, and because you want your tan to look good, man, especially on those abs. You need it. And not saying anyone looked terrible. You guys all looked great, but the ones that the survey noted, bang on. I love all of the boys this year. I feel like that David Zhao definitely did a great job.
He was sharp.
Yeah, he's 10-10. He looks so good. And I think he cut his hair between shows, and I was like, oh, this even looks great. Like he just nailed it. So good. I also love Tyrone. He always looks great to me. And Isaac. I feel like Isaac's tan is perfect too. I feel like he did look pretty immaculate, kept his shit together. So that was good. So yeah, nice work, guys. Let's move into favorite bikini color suit. Sorry, for bikini suit color for the year, because there was a bit of a mix up this year with the girls, and there was a shitload of green. But the favorites tied blue and purple. So that was kind of cool. So obviously those colors are obviously favorites, but green was the one this year which got next place, second place. And then it was red and pink tied. So quite a few different colors up there this year. It was good to see. Obviously more every year. Everyone's got different ideas. I know your favorite suit color. What's your favorite suit color, Frank?
Purple. That's a lot for purple.
It always looks good. It always looks good.
Man, even on guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Doesn't matter what hair color you got. It's perfect.
Yeah. There are, and then blue is hard to mess up as well. It can kind of work for anybody, get the shade right. It's just safe and never looks out of place.
Yeah, I'm with you. Totally.
The greens and the reds can look stunning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just has to be put together right.
Yeah. To pop, to make it look like how it should look. But yeah, I love all of those. I love all the colors. I'm going to go purple this year just for a change up. And I do like when a purple's on I don't know. I just like it. I'm just down. So just to be a little different, we'll go purple this year, even though that's number one with blue. We'll see what the girls pull out this year, next year. Tomorrow will be this year. Okay, what guests would you like to see on the pod? And there's a big list here, guys. And you've given me some challenges. Like, come on. Okay, so I'm just going to list them out real quick. Steve Orton, more wellness pros like Emily King. I love Emily King, so leave that with me. Franciele Matos. Okay, yeah, work on Fran. I'll start learning some freaking Brazilian language. I don't know. We'll work it out. Sebum. He's got more time on his hands. He might jump on. Jordan Hayland, I've tried. Richard Parnham, that's a good one because I do get a lot of requests from him. A vegetarian pro bodybuilder, that would be interesting. Definitely interesting. I'd be like, hey, how in the world do you do it? Paris, I've had on. Badina, I've had on. Sam Mihaka, I've had on. So someone's requested 3, but I've already had them on. But they might be thinking that that's a question of your favorite episode. But I've had all 3 of them on. Would love to get them back on again, so I'll work on that. David Zhao, good one. I will definitely work on that because he's amazing. Denver, I have asked, and we are in conversations about, he's been through some stuff last year, so we're working on that. Everyone knows was injured. So I asked him at the wrong time, right when he was injured, and it just didn't work out. But don't worry, that's on the list. Tom Jackson, we're working on it for next year. Troy Thornton's already been on once, might get him on again. We might have done enough in the first one. Mo, working on it. Georgia, don't know the last name, so I don't know who you mean. Mo, everyone's saying Mo, working on it. Megan Sylvester, I'm guessing that is, and I would love to have her on. And someone said Fran or Issa, but Ruby Roylance from Australia would be cool. And if you don't know Ruby, get on it because she's a weapon. Tyrone, I'm working on Tyrone. You know, guys know I am. Dennis, I've asked, hasn't amounted to anything just yet. Shane Hunter, I've had on once, but I will get him on again. G Pet, she's coming on. Locked her in. Ree will be back on as well. Florence and Philippa, the pros from Bikini in Australia, working on them. Dominique Cox, she'd be great to have on. And I hadn't even thought about that. But as soon as someone said Dom, I was like, Dom. And someone said Jane again. Kurt Dow, not going to happen. Sorry. Sydney Gillen. Oh, I'd love Sid. Okay. Hey, now you're retired. Do you mind? Like, come on, guys. I don't know, but I'll try. I mean, question. Some chick got Drake on just by asking, so stranger things have happened. But pretty crazy list, hey Frank. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next year, but I'll work on as much as I can. I don't know. I thought I'd just run through them to give you guys some ideas of where I was at with them all, but some of them are in the works, so stay tuned. Okay, this is probably a good one, Frank, and I'm going to get your opinion on this too. Did you see any of these bad habits on the stage this year? And there was a few that I listed so that people could tick off what they wanted, and some people really went into it. So lack of sportsmanship was on there, 35%. Subpar posing, 53%. Subpar hair and makeup, 10%. Dodgy tans, 57%, we just talked about. Competitors not listening to the judges, 21%. That can sometimes be a multitude of things, but anyway, just sometimes they're just not listening. But competitive numbers not visible, 14%. Subpar ushering, 21%. So that was quite an interesting mix. And then 7% said other, so that could be anything. But the biggest one there was dodgy tans, and then it was subpar posing, and then lack of sportsmanship, which we don't like that. We don't want that in New Zealand. 35%, that's crazy. So what were your thoughts on that, Frank? Did you see most of those? Obviously, we talked about the tans, but did you see any of those flaws popping up?
Yeah, I mean, I saw. You always recognize, like we talked about before, the tans that aren't great. But I felt like tans this year were better. I thought that posing in general was way better this year. So that one's interesting to me. I mean, I guess, yeah. In what context? Lack of sportsmanship was a surprising one to me because I feel like, from what I hear, it generally seems to be going down all good. So I'm like, is that on stage? Is that backstage? Is it leading up to shows? Where's it'd be interesting to know the context behind this from who voted for that and why. What else is there? Yeah, the competitors listening, like that is a tricky one. A lot of that comes down to sound feedback, really. It can be hard when you've got music playing and you're having to listen to the judges as well. There was a couple times there where the judges also had issues with microphones, so just like technical things. And then you've got people like language barriers as well. And yeah, that is something that I feel like, you gonna get on. If you're gonna be on stage, you need to know, you need to be aware. I didn't think that it was that bad though. Competitor numbers, and the subpar ushering is another hard one to screw down on as well, because man, I know that a good amount of these shows, the ushers do a really good job, and it's really freaking hard. And it's like they'll cop a lot of flack for being organized, and then things still taking longer, and it's not their fault. It's just like, this is competing, man, and if people are getting put through the rounds, your 5 minutes waiting can turn into 25 minutes easily. And that's just bodybuilding. That's just how it rolls. When you're up there going against the people you're on stage with, you want a fair shot, you want to get worked. if you're creeping up, you want to have that opportunity to be put in the middle and go an extra 5 minutes. You're not thinking about the people waiting for you to get off. So it's kind of, I think that's where, if there's a mention about subpar ushering, it probably comes from that, the timing of things. I mean, you think like you've got a couple people backstage that are trying to wrangle up a whole lot of people and work in with what the judges are doing as well. Sometimes the running orders will randomly change for whatever reason. Sometimes somebody goes missing. Like I feel like that's a hard one because I feel like they genuinely do a pretty good job. So again, with that, what context, which shows, and but yeah, the sportsmanship one upsets me.
And you know, maybe it's backstage stuff. Hey, it's like, well, you know, where was it? Where did you see it? What was it?
Yeah. I know that, like, I've not heard anything come back, so it'll be interesting to know, what, like, is that an on stage thing? Is it a backstage thing? What is the nuts and bolts of that? I think obviously, man, it's a competition. You've got people that want to win. You're not always going to get people that are. I mean, like when I'm backstage, I like to kind of just chill out by myself. I mean, I put everything into being peaked on that day, and my state of mind is I'm focusing on keeping that right, and it's not that like I'm not social. I'm just in my zone, chilling, and so I think people need to appreciate that people handle show day differently to other people, and that doesn't mean that they're being unsportsmanlike. If it's that,
who knows? It's interesting. This is interesting to see, and that 35% of the people that responded said that, but it's nuts. I think I heard of two things, and they were quite small. One person went backstage after nationals and threw their medals down and were like having a fit about it. But that's what happens is they place a certain way, miss a pro card, fucking a whole year of doing this or that, and they're upset about it. So they're allowed to be upset backstage as long as they're not affecting anyone else. But if someone throws their medals down and has a fit, that's fine, as long as they're not affecting you or the show. And the other thing I saw was in the nationals awarding, there was someone that got their medal and then just like threw up a peace sign and then walked straight off and like were really salty. And then they had to get called back up, because they just weren't happy about their placing. So things like that are going to happen. It doesn't look good. It doesn't. I know how you feel. Trust me, I know how you feel. I've been on the outside of that fucking comparison line. I've had my last place. It's fine. I know what it is. But you have to hold your shit. Like you have to be an athlete for like a couple more seconds. Go backstage, do whatever you need. Don't annoy anyone. Just have a cry, whatever you want to do. But just for a couple of seconds, hold your shit because it doesn't look good. But it is what it is, And I don't think we should write people off for that. It's their feelings, but definitely need to hold a bit of, I don't know, decorum and just like a bit of grace and just like take it what it is. You'll figure it out later. But that's it. That's all I saw. Even people that I knew wanted their pro card, like my boy Akira and like people, and they didn't get their pro card. They didn't do anything. They were pretty just like, congrats, bro, with yours, and it's like that's their life. So if they can do it, we can all do it.
That's competing, hey. Yeah. There's no reason for that kind of character to come out on stage. That's that's I do remember a couple of things there now too, but that's just some shit like you got to keep that shit in check. You're entitled to your emotions, you're entitled to your feelings, but wait till you get off the stage. Yeah, man, if you're backstage and you see someone be upset, like, man, you know what goes into it. Like, let them be. But I mean, also, man, just like, you have to remember it's a competition, and it's like the best person wins, man. That's as disappointing as it is. It's no reason to chuck shit around and
and no one's saying you didn't work hard and they worked harder and they're better or anything. It's just the physique was more to the criteria. That's simply as it is. You still work just as hard as you did. No one's discounting you. So we roll with it, guys. Just take it on the chin, man. You look way better and way more graceful by doing that.
I've said it on here before, like you will lose way more times than you win.
100%.
Like get okay with it. It sucks, but
use it. That's it. All right, here's a goodie. Favorite coach this season. This was quite cool because I was like, who does people like? So we had a tie for 4 coaches in first place here. No surprises, Frank Carroll. Oh wait, no, Frank got. No, you're the winner, Frank. Definitely.
Oh,
Yeah, because I
thanks,
think
God.
people have jumped them into 2. Yeah, sorry, people have jumped them into 2, but Frank definitely took it out, 100%. He's got that on the lock. And Jordan Earl was second. And then there was a whole bunch of people for third place. Like, it just gets a bit wild from there. But Frank, number 1, no surprises there. And they weren't all Frank's clients. Just again, everyone he's just done a lot of shit this year, man. Like, the guy's doing well. So, and Jordan Earl, no surprises there, because look at what he did this year. The amount of pro cards that guy got, the amount that he achieved, the amount he does with what's going on in his life. Like, I've just got mad respect for Jordan. I really, really love everything he does and what he is, and just all about him. So I know Frank does too. We all just, respect each other in that sense. So just awesome, Jordan. Crazy year for you. Awesome year for you, Frank. Fucking amazing. Yep. So happy to be on Team Wob. But what are your thoughts about that? You have that same thoughts about Jordan as well, don't you?
Yeah. I think like I've been meaning to put like a post out, but essentially be like, and this is like Jordan as well. Like, we're coaches that are focused on what we do with our clients, and we're not the coaches that are doing this for social media flack and attention. It's not like we're not doing this to try and get Insta famous. It's we're just locked in on our job. And so, man, like, yeah, you won't see a lot of us on social media doing exercise tips and nutrition posts and all that kind of like other, I guess, just coaching jargon that gets lost in a whole river of every other coach that's doing it. I don't know for whatever reason, but I know that him and I, we're locked in on like what we're doing with our clients, and that tells the story for us. That's, you've got other people coming through, other coaches coming up as well that are the same. And I think, man, if I've got advice, because I have been blessed to be doing well in this, it is like that's where the payoff comes from. Like, don't burn yourself out feeling like you have to be presenting yourself on social media to like prove your validity. You'll show people that you know what you're doing by actually doing what you're doing it. So I see some good coaches coming up, and I would like, that's just my
little bit of
my tip.
I love it. That's important. It's important. Stay authentic and genuine, and just do the thing, do the coaching, because that's what it is. Hey, and there's a lot of fluff, but as long as you're doing the coaching right. There were other people in this favorite coach of the season. Obviously, Dean and Jazz were in there a bunch, so they need to be recognized, because holy shit, they've done some stuff this year. It's been crazy. Good on you guys. Someone put me. Yes, I'll take it. Was probably my client, but we'll take it anyway. There was also James Eckroyd. He's been great. We've chatted a bit over social media this year, just like about how he's doing with bodybuilding, what he's up to. Shay was in there, Steve Orton was in there, and Tom Jackson was in there too. So good bunch. We've got some good coaches in New Zealand, and you might take note of those names, because people obviously love them and they have a lot of respect, and people were very enthusiastic about how they responded to this, about how much they love their coaches. Jess Chandy and Denver were in there too, of course. That might be a little reputable place for you to find out who the best. Okay, up and coming coaches. There's a few. Obviously, Dean and Jazz, number 1, like, because they are still up and coming in what you'd probably call the bodybuilding scheme of things, because it is their first year having a full team. Not just Dean or Jazz competing, it's been the full team, big team, and they've done really well. So they were the best, and they were top. 42% of people said that, and you know that not all of them are going to be clients of theirs, because they're a smaller team, but that many people think that they are the top. Number 2 was other, so obviously people that maybe I hadn't noted, but I hadn't noted everyone, because I'm not 100% sure. Team Empire, 16%, yay, number 2. And then James Eckroyd, Tom Jackson, and Team Bold were in there as well. So there's a few new coaches this season and this year. Just cool to see. Hey, Frank, we love it.
Yeah, man, there's so much to go around. Yeah.
And hopefully more now. Fit model division. Like, I mean, come on. We all can make that money in this whole industry, so no one needs to stress about new coaches. It's fun to see them coming up.
Yeah.
Yep, we love it. Okay, so two controversial sort of questions coming up here as well. But the judges, do we think they got it right? Obviously, they did their job and they did a great job. And we had a bunch of judges on most of the shows. Just a couple of pieces of feedback. Most people said yes. Okay, most people were like, yep, pretty good. And there was a couple of little comments. So I'll just mention some of them, and you guys might agree, you might not. But South Island judging, bit wacky for females. Interesting. There was a very much different physiques on that South Island stage, and it was probably hard to judge. I won't even be honest. I don't know how they did it. People said they rewarded a softer look this year rather than US and Europe. Some close calls for first and seconds. Most people said they got it right. Someone said, I won't start, laughing faces. So obviously that was a tricky one. Rata beating Abigail and Hale in wellness. So that was an interesting one. And I wish you were there, Frank, but Rata was up there and she won. I think that was based more on conditioning and she still had density. So I think that kind of was I don't know. It was obviously difficult to watch and look because it was so different, but that's the way they went. And they just said weird call. It's just the way it is. I think they got it right. It's a subjective sport. If you don't agree, tough shit. I wonder if you guys know who responded that. I think it was Shay. And then overall bodybuilding at nationals, someone said not right. So bit of a controversial thing. It's just the way it is with judging. People have their favorites. People think people are suited for it more. What do you think, Frank? Obviously, we got the judges back in this. They got it right, but a couple of little maybes.
I don't think so, man. Honestly, I don't. I think that there were some tough calls to be made. And then it's just so then they got put through the rounds.
Yeah.
When if we go and talk about overall bodybuilding, that's what happened. They got put through rounds. It was tough. There wasn't a clear winner, and that's what Steve Weinberger does, man. If it's close, he just keeps running them around until one of them falls down. Whoever can't keep their shit together misses out. They might have even had the slightly better physique, but that's how that part goes. There's a few points to, I guess, address in this. When no one in the class is representing the criteria to its best that it should be, then it turns into like it's going to come down to, okay, the best overall, like it might not even be that, man. They exact example of what their class should be. Maybe they're not big enough, but again, they have enough density and they had better condition, and so you have to go, well, that's going to be the winner, even if they're not. And like you'll see that in classic bodybuilding versus bodybuilding as well, where one even in men's physique, where somebody might be too big, but no one else bought it. No one else has the development. No one else bought good enough condition, or maybe they messed the posing up. So it's going to get given to it. It gets hard for the judges because it's just like, they're not judging a show anymore. It's like making a salad. What were the other points in there? The European standard has been brought into light this year for not being a good example of what the standard should be, especially if we're talking about bikini. They don't want peeled out, hard-looking, muscular girls. They don't want big girls. And you'll see the Europeans that made Olympia, they were in last call-outs.
Yeah.
Like, the last to be called out. Too big, too hard, too muscular. That's what the criteria is. So honestly, New Zealand's standard of judging for bikini is like, it's really good. And then again, they can only pick from who's on stage. And the cool thing is that the class of bikini here is developed so much that even majority of the amateurs are really good. So they're really getting to judge to the criteria. So it's going to be the girls that have the right conditioning, not ultra conditioning, that have the right amount of muscle for them, not heaps of muscle. And that's the same from class to class as well. The look that classic physique is meant to be should be different to men's bodybuilding. There's a difference between bikini and wellness. There's a difference between wellness and figure. It's yeah, and so I think like you'll start to see that there'll be less people that will be able to do two classes because they're just not going to fit one now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You just won't, eh? It's
no,
just not. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's good. I think you're right. I think you're on the money. And I think that they're judging the best on the day, hey. And I think everyone that took their pro cards, like, well, they were the best. And we're happy to have them as like representing the country now, hey. We're just pumped to see what they do. So
yeah,
like you're always going to have interesting calls. You're always going to give your opinion, and we love that. That's what the sport's about. It's subjective. It's four opinions. You give your thoughts. You judge it yourself, like a judge in the seats. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and the judges do what they do, and they've done a pretty damn good job.
yeah. It's hard to get past an emotional bias. If you know
Yeah,
somebody and you're backing them, you want them to win, and man, that's honorable.
yeah,
It's respectable, but you've got to instead like sit back and be like, okay, man, what are the judges looking at? Why is it potentially going to go the way that you might not want it to go? And that, man, if you're a coach or an athlete, then that's good learning.
yeah.
That's good learning resource.
Mhm.
Yeah, what are they looking at?
Yeah.
It must be that. That might be the longer you look at it, you can start to see why they're seeing it that way.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Take a step back, more objectively. Hey, all right. Favorite New Zealand pro that competed abroad this year. There was a bunch. We had heaps, so that was cool. But Kate Carroll took it out. She had 32.5% of the vote, so big one for her. And then Jazz was right behind her at 29%. Obviously, those two just killed it this whole year. They just really put the effort into the USA tours. They got their qualifications, off to Olympia they go. Like, just mad amounts of money spent on this shit. I don't think anyone even knows. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, how did you second mortgage, guys? Like, what the hell? So honestly, just so cool that they've done that and they dedicate this much to the sport, and that's why they're number one. They just hold themselves so just like athletes should, man. Both of them, the pair of them are just two peas in a pod. They do things just the same, and I love it. Great inspirations and role models for women. Very open, very honest, very just the epitome of an athlete. Hey, Frank, just so good. And in third place, just quickly, was Shay. And I don't argue that at all. I love Shay just as much. I think, if not the same as top three, she's just killed it and just done such an incredible job every year. And this year, second at being Weeder. She's fucking right there, man. So what do you think, Frank, about these pros? Obviously, there's more, like Aaron's in there. Who is that one? Oh, geez, Shandy, of course. Like, there's a bunch. So just tell me what you think.
Yeah, I think like looking at this, you've got again like you're seeing a reflection of the classes people follow.
Yeah.
And I think it was super exciting this year to have bikini and wellness from New Zealand at the Olympia and them doing that whole American tour thing. And I think that was just exciting. Like the big popular classes, so the following's going to be more. And I can guarantee that most people that would have picked one of them also loves another person as well. Yeah, all of these people deserve props. Yeah, I mean, Jamie probably might have got more votes here if more people knew she was competing. If she wasn't competing at the end of the year, because like I mean, she done awesome as well. Yeah, and then there's other people here that people had no idea that
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
competing,
Yeah.
and that's all good, but we'll recognize them. And if you didn't know of them, get to know of them.
Yeah.
Um,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think so. I think that's What is cool is like just seeing these pros get out there and utilize their pro card and do this. Like we start this starting off like we say we love this, we're about this. This is what we do. So these guys are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. You guys have killed it. You guys have motivated everyone. I trust me about how many pros will be competing next year or really prepping to do some damage. There's a bunch, man. So I feel like this list will be so big next year. And I love it because it just fires everyone up. New Zealand is we're all such competitive people, but in like a good way that it can drive us. And I think that's what we should use. And they do. You guys do. So there's also in here, there's Weta. He competed at Ben Weeder as well, if you guys don't know. He's awesome, and I did watch a little bit of his, but I missed his whole show because it was separately purchased. It was a big drama. But anyway, but I got Shay's the end of it, and then the live stream hasn't provided a full recording that I can now show you guys all. So it was a bit of a tricky one. But Weta was awesome. He went over to Ben Weeder. There was also, yeah, Aaron, sneaky little Aaron, snuck off over to freaking somewhere in the States, wouldn't let me share it on Instagram and stuff. So he's just a sneaky one that'll pop off and do his thing whenever he wants, and that's great. Go on, Aaron, get it. And Mariska Pretorius, she competed as well. Couple of shows under her belt. Jamie Wu was just, I think she just needs more recognition, and I promise I will continue to do that.
Yeah.
I actually message her and I'm like,
Yeah.
Jamie, when are you competing next? And she doesn't respond for ages. She's sort of like a slow response, and that's fine. This is what she does. So I don't get to share it until it's like right then, you know. So that's why I haven't done many posts for Jamie. But I'm going to get onto it. I'm going to message Jordan instead of Jamie and get her days. And Rachel Veal, if you guys don't remember Ray from last year, 2023 wellness winner, competed this year with Jasmine to do final show ever for bodybuilding. I pray she comes back to bodybuilding, but she wants to move on to other sports. So cool to see her in there, though. Awesome that you guys recognized her as well, and that she finished off with a bang. She looked sick. She looked amazing. And I bet, and there's, like we say, there's other pros that competed that should get announced as well. But off the top of my head, I cannot even. So yeah, great year and another great year to come. Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good. All right. So what pro shows would you guys like to see this year? Obviously bikini and wellness. The two biggest ones, both have 55%. So crazy. But the next one was figure, which was cool to see because I'd love to see a figure. And then there was open bodybuilding and 212 paired even. Classic physique, men's physique paired even. Women's physique, women's bodybuilding paired even. And there was wheelchair too, which I love, guys. We included that, of course, because that's getting exciting to watch. And I watched that through Olympia. And I was like, holy shit, these guys are sick. And there's battles. Like the top 2 or 3 have been like, they have like beef, kind of like low-key beef, but like this is fun to watch. So obviously wellness and bikini, they're the top because of the girls probably in the survey, but also we do have quite a few of them now as well. So they are growing. Your thoughts, Frank? Do you think we'll get a bikini pro show one day?
It's gonna come. I know that. Yeah, there's gonna be a bikini one coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about the other women's classes ever being a thing. It just costs so much to run the classes, and when there aren't enough people to do them, it's just it doesn't work out. It doesn't equate. Like if people don't know how much it costs to run a pro class, and for it to be an Olympia qualifier, it costs a lot, way more. Like, yeah, people don't know, but it's up there, thousands and thousands.
Yeah.
So we're so lucky that we do get the classes that we do. Obviously, really lucky for the athletes in those classes that can do those shows here too. But even just to be able to see them, yeah. And that's like, if I look at that question and I'm like, man, if there was no limits, which pro show would I want to sit down at? That's I guess how I look at that question. But yeah, open bodybuilding would be it for me.
Yeah.
Because you can compete open at 212.8 as well.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that just opens the class up massively to a whole lot of freaks.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that could fit into that from here as well. Yeah, that's the bloke in me, and I would, love figure. So, and I'm like, yeah, if the game was there, if there was no limitations, if we could have the show, if I could see figure athletes from around the world compete here, man.
That'd be sick. Oh,
yeah.
We can dream. We can dream and fundraise for both. But bikini would be mine for obvious reasons. Like, I want to see the girls from Australia that have recently been pro qualified for the last 3 years get some fucking chances to compete locally. But as well as obviously our girls too. But I'm just saying, like, it's close enough for the Aussies to come over for it. Wellness, we do not have any close to the amount of number of pro wellness competitors actually actively competing. I could probably pick 3 that we'd probably be able to have. So, and that's not anything on the wellness girls. It's a tricky division, and some of them have just decided maybe it's not for them at this point, and that's so fine as well. But I would love to see Paris and Jazz and whoever can get up there. That'd be sick. But my favorite would be classic physique. We all know I'm a classic fan, and I'd love to see Jackson Gurin and like our boys like all battle. Like that would be so sick. So You know, I can dream one day. And if Aussie gets it, I'll just go on over there and watch it. And our boys will go. So yeah, who knows? Who no, I'd love to see, like, imagine Nadar up in the New Zealand stage, like battling it out. So that'd be so cool. But
Yeah.
we'll see what Mo does when we get our calendar, right? We'll see. Okay, so who's your favorite NZIFB Pro? There's a bunch in here, quite clearly. This wasn't in a vote in terms of like percentage wise. It's all just a bit like list your favorite kind of thing. And there was a lot. Kate took it out from the most in the list. Everyone's like, Kate, obvious reasons. Kate, she represents New Zealand really well. And so it kind of just explains what I was just saying before about how they hold themselves with such like grace and everything. And I just love it. And Jazz is obviously just as much in there with Kate. They almost come in a pair these days, come in a package deal. People said Dean, even though he hasn't competed yet, just he's going to be sick when he does. Like we all know this. We know, don't we? Scared. Isaac, a couple of Isaac votes, like a good couple. He's a good guy. Physique is somehow even better. He's a great guy. A lot of people said. Someone said Dean, Ash Mellon, close second. Leah, people like Leah too, of course. She's beautiful. Christelle or Emily. A couple more of our bikini girls. Jess Shandy, Shay Crotty. She's such an inspiration. Work ethic level, yeah, crazy. She's out the gate. Jen Lowry, love Jen Lowry. And if you haven't listened to her podcast yet with Harry, you should go and listen to that and subscribe and do all the good things to support her. Shay was in there a bunch. Mo was in there too. We need to not forget about Mo. He's done the most for the sport. He's been on the Olympia stage a bunch. And I think people forget that he earned his fucking stripes before he stood there and then said it like he does, because he's got all this like, I don't know, he's got the qualifications to back up the arrogance, man. He's got it. So don't argue with it. And Ben was in there too. Obviously, Ben's awesome and he doesn't get enough credit either. He's a weapon. I think that's it. But what do you think, Frank? Pretty good pros we've got. Hey, holy crap.
We got so many good pros. There's so many that people don't know because the pros aren't doing anything. There's so many here that are really good and the only reason they're not being called out is because people don't know of them.
Yeah,
and so if you're one of them and you feel gutted because you didn't get mentioned, man, wake up. go do a dance. Like
yes.
we have a heap of really good pro athletes, man, that it's like they just fall off the face of the earth. I know that people need their time to develop into being a competitive pro, but man, like you can still be out there. I know it's, again, in bodybuilding might not be your whole life, but yeah, I feel like there are so many more here than is written here that are good.
Yeah. So much potential. It's like, I just want to see you do it, but it's not for you, and like you said, it's not for everyone. You don't even know what's going on, health things, family things, like money things. Like people have so much shit and you have to be in the right spot to do it, especially as a pro. And it would just be so cool to see all of them busted out. But there's a couple of people working. I think people work quietly. I think Paris, like people just put on their stories every now and again that they're doing hack squats and they're looking fucking good doing it. So like it leaves you to the imagination, but it would just be so cool to see more of our pros do things. But when the time is right, get up there and do it, because it's sick to watch and we love it. We back here. What else have we gotten here, Frank? Who do you predict will be getting their Fro card in 2025? Hard one to say because obviously we don't even know who's competing, but it's just cool to see who's your faves. There was a bunch in here, and I'm actually pretty sure I'm not lying when I say that most people said Georgia Peterson. I'm just double checking myself before I say it. Georgia Peterson, I think, was the biggest for the females, and Tyrone was the biggest for the males. I think that's about it. But there was a lot of others. There was Dom in there, Abigail from Wellness, Barbara Dalpiers if she does compete, Ethan Rao, Chantal. There was so many. Frank, obviously, Frank, you're in there a bunch. But I think people forget that you're not a pro. Like I think everyone just assumes you're a pro now. But he was in there heaps. So Frank was in there too as well. Yeah, probably Frank and Tyrone were the biggest for the boys. Richard Parnham got a few votes too. And he looks incredible. He's amazing. And isn't he a pro in a different federation? So it kind of, I think he's a pro in a different federation. So maybe he's already been kind of there, but just not with IFBB. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, Frank? You're obviously number one for the boys.
I gotta make it that way.
Yeah.
As far as like if my class goes, and like each class is competitive, man. And so, like, yeah, there's as the years go by, these guys that hang in, they just get better and better, right? So, um, yeah, I mean, I see a good turnout the next few years of like good quality pro card earners. That's what I see. I like that Richards in there because he's got one of my favorite physiques in New Zealand. I've said it to him. Fan whatever him now. He's man, like great physique. The girls are a tough one as well. There can only be so many pro cards per class per year. um, and yeah, I agree with everyone that's been mentioned. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
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 I want to put Jordan in there too, just because I love him.
Yes.
Just want
Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't have as many. Like, come on, guys, Jordan's. I think people just again they just assume coach. That's his. Like they forget that he's actually a fucking bodybuilder, you know. So
Yeah.
Jordan's on there for me. There's a heap for the girls, even in wellness. Lots of figure girls that I'd love to see get their pro card for us as well. So yeah, just a bunch. But I'm just excited to see who actually decides to prep and compete.
Mm.
And I'm sure a lot of people will get the itch as soon as that calendar comes out, man, it's going to light the fire. It always does. People just like their workouts, hey, oh my God, my workout, the calendar just came out and like everyone's on, but don't let it just be short lived. Like keep it going. Keep that momentum rolling, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. I'm excited. Two more questions, guys. Last two. Predictions, thoughts, manifestations, all that shit. What's going to happen in 2025? Well, I asked everyone. Everyone said bigger, better. Most people said bigger, better. Like a turnout wise, new divisions. People have mentioned about the fit model. Everyone wants it to grow. Bigger shows with bigger competitor list. Hoping for a women's pro show. People have mentioned. People have said that wellness will be bigger. I think that will continue to grow. And the natural and standard shows will be growing. Heaps of people see more natural shows. Hopefully more prize money, people have said. We'll see. You never know what fit model will do. Hanging on to it. And just bigger and better, most people have said. Like, is that what you kind of think, Frank? Like, I mean, we who knows, to be honest. But and more Olympia, sorry. A lot of people say more Olympia and more Olympians from New Zealand too. So I think we can count on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think NZIPV will get bigger and better, shows will get bigger and better, numbers will get bigger and better, quality of athletes will get bigger and better. We're definitely going to have more pros running a circuit and pushing to be Olympians. I think, yeah, on the whole, New Zealand bodybuilding is going to get better and better.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. I actually just noticed that someone wrote a little hater comment, but I'm just going to read it out. Every New Zealand men's physique athlete that's got their pro card in the last 5 years will continue not to use it. That's not even true. Is it true? I actually don't know. Is it true?
There's, man, like that, you've got more consistent men's physique competitors competing, pro men's physique competing, then I mean they get the opportunity to, but I mean, yeah, not everyone can compete every year, but we've seen for a few years in a row now, some of these people do each of these shows. We've seen people that have turned pro, take a year off, and compete this year with like, it's. I think that's a hard, not entirely accurate comment to say about men's physique.
I know it's a bit of a funny one. I was like, who's the hater? I'm obviously not going to say anything to you, and they might be joking anyway. But I mean, give Ash Mellon a year off, mate. Like, give the guy 1 year, 8 years back to back, and he's just taking a year off. Fuck. And Aaron is, like we talked about him before, a silent, quiet dude that goes around. He has competed this year, sorry, in the States, apparently twice. So I mean, it's happening. It might just be a bit more under wraps. Last year's men's physique winner was Nader, and how he's moving to classic, so you won't be seeing him in men's physique. And there's obviously a bunch from this year that will hopefully be doing their thing, and Isaac will be out there too. So interesting to see. It's just good to get people's opinions and a little bit of tea. Speaking of tea, I asked for people's opinions in tea, and I was like, I wonder what I'll get back, you know. Mostly was great stuff though, guys. A little bit of like more attention needs to be paid on stage and this and that and things, like a little bit of feedback, but that's okay. It's going to come with it. Most people said good year overall, small pond here. And someone said no, negativity gets called out quick. So usually it's pretty well nipped in the bud. And that's true. Like if someone's going to talk shit, you're going to hear about who it was pretty fast. And just a great year, nice season. It was very noticeable that some coaches were throwing shade at each other. It happens. New coaches need to be qualified 100%. and not stealing other coaches' clients. There was a little bit of poaching, but it happens again. That's more of the coaches' drama to deal with rather than the athletes. You guys just keep to yourself. Don't worry about it. Cost for tanning should be included in registration. That changed, obviously, this past year, and now you have to pay on top. We don't know what they're doing this year. It could be different again, so we'll just have to wait and see. And tighter seeing pro cards being awarded to people that don't use them happens quite a bit. There's a big one on the feedback, and obviously Frank and I are quite passionate about people using them as well when they can. Girls categories should go first. The girls just want to get their show done. Impressive turnout of athletes. People said thank you to me. Thank you guys. I appreciate you back just as much. You know that. And only thing is some of the girls need to start posing earlier. Yeah. And the boys, we all need to start posing early. You can never start early enough. People are like, when should I start? And prep. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's late. Like, you're so late. Like, start. And yeah, there was some other couple of notes, but that's pretty much all the PG stuff I can share with these anyway. But yeah, looked like it was mostly a good year. People are always going to have something to like maybe give their feedback and complain about. I did ask for that. I was like, tell me if you've got concerns. So I'm not complaining by any means. I love it. We love to hear it. And I loved it. Everyone that filled out the survey gave their honest opinion. It was cool. And I was real stoked to see everyone do it. So thank you who did. And yeah, what did you think about the tea, Frank? Not a lot of tea, but just like a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, I mean, it was all pretty, I guess, on par, pretty, nothing surprising.
Yeah.
There wasn't really anything in there. I guess that, yeah, coaches poaching clients isn't cool. Coaches losing clients to other coaches is kind of just comes back to like, man, you've either got to just be making sure that you're doing everything you can for your client. Otherwise, they will leave because there are good coaches around. And just sometimes like you're just not a fit. And like if you've got integrity in what you're doing, you know you're doing it the best you can, and that happens. I guess it's just kind of like it is what it is. You'll get another client. It's that's
pretty much it, eh? Yeah. Some notes from you guys at the end. Yeah, and sometimes it's the other way around too, eh? It's they can be coach jumping athletes. They just like to try a bit of everyone. So don't take it too hard. Just roll with it. Like keep moving. Focus on the athletes that stick with you and you're working hard on, and you just keep looking after each of them.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to be learned in this field, hey Frank. So that's it. Thank you guys for doing the survey. I really appreciate it, and it was really fun to do. Next year we're going to do it in a studio before the end of November. Hopefully have some like visuals for you guys and stuff like that. We'll make it bigger and better every year. This is how we do. Big things on the cards for this year. Frank's opening a gym. That's going to be huge. Can't wait to hear more about that. Frank's getting his pro card. Not jinxing anything, it's just happening. I'll be competing most likely. I mean, I'm going to wait for the calendar and do all that, but we'll be chatting about that. We've got lots of wrap-ups for you this year. We'll stick with those, won't we, Frank? We'll continue into 2025 with our wrap-ups.
Yep.
Yeah, nice. We'll be back for those. Hopefully just bigger and better than ever, and hopefully a lot more guests for you guys next year. But thanks for being with us for the whole of 2024. Everyone that's listened, honestly, we appreciate you lots. It's been so cool to chat with you guys and on Instagram and just have a bit more of a community. It's growing. You guys are here for it. Very little hate, like very little shade. Nothing of that going on at all. I don't see it if it happens. And this has been an awesome year. Hey, Frank.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's been good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all
it's like what the other person said in there. People are pretty quick to call out the negative stuff now. I think there's been enough done in the community where we want it to be a positive and growing and thriving thing. And it's good that people do the weeding right. That's, There's no
takes itself out sometimes.
Yeah.
I love it. Nice one, guys. Well, thank you all for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and all that. Honestly, it makes a big difference. 850 hours away from being monetized, and you don't have to do anything except watch the pod on YouTube. It's pretty good. Almost there. First goal will be ticked off in January. Hopefully, we'll see. And we'll see you all back in January. I've got lots of guests coming up, so I can't even tell you what's next. But yeah, have a great Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Gotcha.